Okay, for this lesson here, we're going to learn two new skills. It's going to be the align skill and the mirror skill. So what I normally do to teach students this is I will bring out a cylinder. We'll go ahead and make this one 50 and the other side 50. And the height, we'll go ahead and make, you know what, we can leave it 20. That'll work. We're just going to make a ring. So then I'll bring this one. And we'll make that 30 and this one 30. And so we did go over last time how you can use one shape to make a hole in another shape, or how you can change how the shape looks. So we're going to do the same thing, but before we put a box around it, let's go ahead and make it a hole. And then here is, I make sure to usually line one of the shapes up far away so they could see what the align tool does. And so normally this is kind of a harder skill to learn, but once you master it, I do feel like it helps you whenever you're working on projects. And luckily, when you put the cursor over any of these dots, it will show you what is going to happen. But I do just let kids know that this is one of those where you just kind of have to play with it. Sometimes you might click on a dot and it's not exactly what you want, but that's why we have this undo button that you can always use. So for this one, we want to line it up so that they're even with each other here, and then in the middle here, we'll group them together, and then we make a hole. And so at this point, I encourage you, if you're watching this as a tutorial, to just pause it and practice bringing out shapes and aligning them. And then you can either make a hole in them or just align them to group them together. Would be, like, let's say I want this here and I want this to go on top, but I want to make sure it's completely aligned. I can draw a box around both of them, align it, and I think it's going to be this one. So it barely moved. It might have even looked like it didn't move, like maybe I had it in the right place, but this will, if I were to click on that middle one, it does make sure that it's in the middle there. And then this one I would click, and now I know it's directly in the middle on top of that cube. And so go ahead and pause the video and practice doing this. If you're a teacher, this would be the good spot to pause it, let the students practice bringing out shapes and aligning them. Okay, hopefully you had some time to practice aligning shapes. Next, we're going to jump into mirroring and what that does and how that can maybe be useful, especially with this lesson in which you are going to create a robot at the end as your project. So what I normally do to just kind of show how this tool could be useful or just how it works is we kind of use the same method here, but instead of making a ring, we're going to kind of make a tiered cake. I'm going to go ahead and make these 30. And we'll go ahead and align them again. But this time, I'm going to click on that middle shape and raise it, just so it's right there. And honestly, like, you could stop here if you want to put another third tier, you can. But this would be good enough to where you can group them and then make a duplicate. Actually, let's click on that, then make a duplicate. And every time you make a duplicate, it appears right on top of the other shape. So then you can raise it, and then I will click on the mirror and hit this one. I'll also show them that there are other ways you can mirror it. Obviously, nothing changes here because the fact that it's like two cylinders. But then after I show them this, we will group these together. And I was thinking that it looks like a wheel with axles, but usually when I show the kids this, they all, notice that I made a dumbbell. And so now you can try pausing it, combining and grouping shapes, and then using that mirror icon here to see, the different ways that you can manipulate the shape or change it. Okay, so at this point, it'd be time to work on making the robot. If you're a teacher watching this, I think it's good to have the kids at least sketch out the robot before they go to make it. Also, there's a way that you can maybe make it a cross-curricular activity and incorporate some kind of writing by having the kids think of a name for their robot and what their purpose is. That also could guide them as far as how they're going to make that sketch of their robot. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and make a robot. If you want to just see how one is made, I guess you can continue watching. If not, that's it for this video.